Hey everybody, it's Richard T. Fields here, and today is part 3 of the filmmaking series where I take you through the filmmaking process from start to finish. Welcome to the filmmaking series. Today we'll dive into cinematography and I'll share with you 3 tips to get your best image while only using natural light. When you're filming outdoors, one of the first things that you want to do are find sources of natural diffusion and natural reflection. Things such as clouds, trees, or even sunlight bouncing off of a building can soften the light to make it very flattering on your subjects. And also, shooting earlier in the morning will give a more flattering image to your subject since the light is a lot softer and more diffused with the sun being lower. If you're going for a more dramatic feel, then a bright, sunny day might actually work in your favor because that sunlight will create high contrast images. And if you want to add an extra touch of dramatic effect, try backlighting your subject. Have the sun behind the subject. And if you're shooting an interview, this actually could work better for you because your subject will not be looking directly into the sun and have that terrible squinting look on their face as they're trying to deliver their most precious moments to you on camera. When shooting inside, you want to find a room preferably with big windows. This will allow you to have great natural light. The glass will help diffuse that light and disperse it throughout the room. Maybe you want to open the blinds. You can try closing the blinds if the sun is too bright, but play with that natural light that's coming through those windows. You can use this window as your key light by placing your subjects right in front of this window. Now, you'll notice for this project for myself, I actually did the opposite of this. I used the biggest window in the room as a backlight because if you flip the camera around, the only thing behind them is the dining room table and the kitchen. So while yes, you do want to find a room with great natural light and use these windows as your key light, keep in mind what's best for your overall image and composition. So sometimes it's better to just use your own personal judgment to create the best frame possible with the light you have available. My second tip for getting a good image while only using natural light is to shoot with a flat profile. For those of you who don't know, the cameras we're using today as filmmakers come with several different picture profiles. Now these profiles have different effects on the image, some being more contrasty, some having the colors pop a little bit more. The profile that we're looking for is something that's as flat as possible. And by flat, I mean with as low contrast as possible. Shooting on a flat profile, whether it's S-Log2 or S-Log3 on a Sony camera, or if you're using another camera, maybe that has its own version of a log profile. If not, maybe it has a neutral profile. But shooting on a flat profile allows you to capture more details in your shadows as well as your highlights. Even though the image you're seeing in camera is very low contrast, very flat and pale looking, it allows you the room and flexibility to color grade your image the way that you would like it to look in post. And your goal when you're out shooting your cinematography using natural light is to capture as much detail, as much information as possible. Step 3, use a fill. When shooting with natural light, your light's never going to be perfect, so it's good to have a reflector or some sort of small fill light to help fill in those shadow areas that the natural light isn't covering. One thing that I like to use on these projects is this reflector here. It's by Newer. It's fairly cheap. It's fairly small. I can actually open it up for you. But this, you can even see here, testing it on myself. I think you can see it here, but just adding it in adds a nice little touch here to fill in for the shadows. So for the interview process, what you can do is just have this off to the side, off camera, and you can kind of play with it, play with the positioning to add in a little nice fill for your subject. And one more thing you can do, I don't actually have this with me right now, but I actually had one small light off to the side that can fit in your backpack. I'll link it in the description below, but it came in super handy to just give a nice little twinkle in the eyes for the interview. Not too much and it's barely even noticeable, but to get that little twinkle in the eye does wonders. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this content and found this information helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, and go ahead and drop me a comment in the comment section below while you're at it. Remember, this is only part 3 of the filmmaking series where I take you from start to finish through the filmmaking process. So if you're enjoying this information, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn those alerts on so you don't miss out. I'll be back next week with some more information on cinematography and the production process, so be sure to check out that next video. Until next time, I'm Richard T. Fields. See you soon.